You're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's Reveler Sports.
4 seconds left. In front. Happy moment. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won the first Stanley Cup. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup. Lightning strikes twice. The Tampa Bay Lightning win their second straight Stanley Cup.
Welcome in to another off-season edition of RBLR Lightning here at RBLR Sports, the nominated for Best of the Bay, Best Podcast for this year. There's a link in the description. Hit that button. Please vote for us, vote for us, vote for us. We need your help to do it. Tonight, we will be talking about a few things as the boys are traveling the country. The Stanley Cup's moving around. It hasn't gone across the over to Europe yet. I'm sure there's going to be even more crazy things, but we're going to talk about some of the crazy things that we've seen with the Stanley Cup. My name is Eureka, and with me on the line tonight, we of course have from Bolt Report, my man, Jake Ricker. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. What's going on, guys? I am still looking forward to the hockey season as we get closer and closer, but I am excited to talk about some of the off-season stuff and looking forward to this episode.
Yeah, man, and also with us on the line, we have a man who shares a birthday with the greatest coach in Tampa Bay Lightning history. That would be Chris. What's up, buddy? How are you doing, sir?
Feeling older, man. Feeling 34, so it's definitely hitting me. You know, the old age is kicking in. But yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm ready to talk some Bolts tonight.
Yeah, you're getting kind of old, man. I don't know. We might have to put you on the bottom 6 of this roster here. You're getting up there, buddy. No, did you do anything fun? Did you actually hang out with John Cooper since you guys are birthday twins?
I did, man. We ordered some pizza. You know, we got the Raise 6 code after they scored the run, so we could get half off Papa John's. And, we had a good time, drank some whiskey and talked Bolts, you know.
Oh, man, I'm jealous.
You wish, buddy. All right. The good vibes are continuing. You had a great birthday. I'm sure Coop had a wonderful birthday. And another thing we kind of touched on last week was Sonia Bryson Kirksey was unfortunately in the hospital. But hopefully, I think all the good vibes that I think you had the whole Tampa Bay area just was like sending love and sending support, and she's feeling a lot better. And so that's the first thing I just wanted to say is like, that's good news, man. I'm not even, she had immediately posted something like, yeah, singing's going to be a while away, but I'm like, you know what, let's, we'll pump the brakes. We're fine. You take your time, get well, get rested, and we got 7 more weeks until opening night, so you got time, right?
She can have all the time in the world.
Yeah, man. But the first big thing we will talk about, this is very monumental stuff here. This is like earth-shattering news. I have to get your reactions, and that's the NHL 22 cover athlete was revealed, and of course the Lightning, they're back-to-back champions. We have so many superstars, MVP caliber people, Hall of Famers, of course, down the road. Chris and Jake, I'm looking here. Was it Victor Hedman? Was it maybe superstar Nikita Kucherov? Maybe that picture of him shirtless at the press conference. Maybe that's gonna be the cover of the game. Maybe it was. How about Hall of Famer Andrei Vasilevsky? All he's done is shut everyone out in 2 straight Stanley Cup runs. Jake, who did they end up going with?
Well, first of all, you're good. Let me just say, EA should hire you because you just listed off amazing options right there. But EA decided to go with none of those, and they picked the player that can't even get out of the first round in Austin Matthews. And listen, I'm sure Austin Matthews is a great guy. He's obviously a very good hockey player.
Sure.
But he was already on the cover. He was on the cover just this is his second time in, I think, 3 years. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed with this choice by EA. I mean, listen, I know we're Lightning fans and we're biased, but, there were so many better options, like Nathan McKinnon, even. And like you mentioned, the Lightning went back to back. They put Jonathan Tays, and it was supposed to be Patrick Kane as well, but then that whole, stuff came out about him just for winning the Stanley Cup. They didn't even win back to back. Now, granted, that was their third in, what I think 5 years it was. But still, like the Lightning just won back to back cups. You're not going to at least put one of them on the cover? Like, it's kind of it's mind-boggling is what it is. I know a lot of people are upset about it. Now, granted, if your player doesn't get picked, you're always going to be upset about it. And at the end of the day, covers aren't a huge deal. But yeah, definitely a very questionable decision by EA. I don't get it. Fassi, Kucherov, Hedman, Stamkos. There were so Braden Point. Even how about Rostabas Colton, who scored the game-winning goal? Could even done him if you wanted to.
Just him jumping out, leaping, and that's the cover, right? It's just
exactly. So yeah, really weird decision. I don't get it. Why you would go back with Austin Matthews? Weird decision. I just hope NHL 22 maybe is at least a decent game.
Well, I was going to say, too, maybe they didn't go with Stamkos because he's already been on the cover, so they picked, let me pick up my cover of NHL 20, who was, Austin Matthews has already been on the cover in the last 2 years.
Right?
Yeah, stunning. It's just another amazing win here for EA. Chris, how do you feel about this, and will you be buying a copy of NHL 22?
Well, I'm a gamer, man. I've always been a gamer. I used to play in a lot of the Madden challenges for years and years and years, and I gave up on Madden because EA just got really lazy. And to me, this is just another sign of them being lazy. Putting a guy on the cover that was just on it. He did nothing, like Jake said. They can't even get out of the first round. I get it, he's a superstar, but this was a perfect opportunity for EA to go with an entire roster on the front page, or on the cover, I should say. This was a perfect opportunity to get that picture of all of the guys on the ice, put them on the cover. We made history, going back to back with the COVID era and in a shortened season. So I think EA dropped the ball on this because kind of how they did, Mahomes and Brady this year on Madden. They split the cover, so they kind of went a little different route that way. But I thought this was going to be a good opportunity for the entire Lightning roster to get a picture on there, and I thought that would have been really neat. Unfortunately, EA drops the ball again, but I did pre-order the game today, so I'm hoping the game plays a little better, but definitely disappointed that they dropped the ball.
Yeah, we can whine and cry, but we're all buying the game anyway. Well, I would say...
Wait, hang on, Eureka. I have an idea here for EA.
Yeah.
So what if we make the Cap Circumvention edition and the Lightning get on that cover? Maybe they'll go for that.
It's Thunderbug, and he's just like in a tuxedo, like throwing money in the air. And
hey, you know what? That would make me buy it. I'm down for that.
Just a shiny tuxedo, that'd be funny. Let's think. If you had to go back, Jake, who do you think is your favorite cover guy of the NHL?
Oh man, that's a good question. Obviously I would want to go with a Lightning player because you always enjoy when your team gets a player cover, and the Lightning have had both Steven Stamkos and Vinny on the cover. I think Vinny was on it back in 2004 or 2005, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quote me on that, and then Stamkos in, I think it was 2015. So honestly, I'd probably go with Vinny. I think that was one of back when the NHL was in its better days of a game, and I love those 2004 jerseys. So just seeing that on the cover was really cool. And Vinny was a huge part of this organization, so it was really cool for him to get on. But Vinny or Stamkos are both probably my top picks.
Chris, do you happen to have a favorite cover guy in NHL EA Sports history?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I gotta agree with Jake and go with the Lightning boys. Probably, I mean, if I had to pick one, I guess I'd go with Stamkos because I've always been a Stamkos guy myself. So I got his jersey, so captain of the team. It's pretty cool for just to have two guys on there. I think, like I said, I think they dropped the ball this year. I think we should have definitely been on there at least one of these years, especially going back to back. But hey, at least we got Stamkos and the Calvier representing us on there. But definitely a cool thing to at least have two guys on there, especially being a video game like that. I mean, the Lightning have come a long way. So it's pretty cool to be able to talk about cover athletes of our own team on a sports game.
My favorite guy is Martin Brodeur when they did NHL 14 because Brodeur was the last remaining guy from the legend. I'm a little bit older than you guys, but the legendary NHL 94 game, which is still like played. It's got a cult status on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. The NHL 94 was like it's such a good, fun game to pick up and play. And so Martin Brodeur, 20 years later, they did the anniversary edition. They had like a retro version of it, and you could play with today's roster in the old NHL 94 graphics, and that was pretty cool. So they put Marty up there in his Devils jersey and everything, looking awesome as the last. And I think he was the last time there was a goaltender on the cover was Martin Brodeur. But it just cool all around with the retro kind of bringing that back and a fun little thing of him being the last active person in the NHL that was in that game. And so that's my answer. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, I was Chris, you said you're a big gamer. What's your favorite sports game then?
Of all time?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Honestly, man, MVP 2005 baseball was the greatest game I've ever played online.
Okay.
Maynard Mears was on the cover. I'll never forget when that game came out. I'll never forget me and my buddy. He had just gotten Xbox Live recently when it first came out, and we had to have played 3-4. We might have even played 500 games of that game online over the summer because it was, I believe it was 5 innings. Games were fast, but the gameplay for 05, it was just a really, really fun game. And it's really hard for me to top any sports game as far as like just overall being good. I did play a lot of Maddens. If I had to rank them, I'd probably put Madden 2006 up there as one of my favorites. That was when I played in a lot of the challenges. I actually have a newspaper article from when I went to the Madden Challenge in Tampa.
What?
They took a picture of me playing.
Look at
I
this
finished
guy.
I finished 2 games from $100,000. Made it to the quarterfinals.
Wow.
That was 2007, I believe. I still have the newspaper article though. I saved it. Tampa Tribune guy did it on me. I was wearing my Chad Johnson Bengals jersey. Ran with the Bengals that year because they had a good team, good offense. So yeah, I mean, I think my favorite overall game though had to be MVP 05. Good game from top to bottom.
Chris, we know you just spam 4 verts and why shallow cross, so I don't want to hear it, buddy.
There was a lot of playing back then, man. A lot of practice. A lot of practice.
Jake, favorite sports game or any game? I don't know if you play any games outside of sports.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that likes to play the GM modes and be a pro mode. That's my thing that I love to do. Which I don't know if there's a specific game, like a specific year that I enjoyed the most, but I will say MLB has done a really good job with their games recently, especially the Be a Pro modes. They have gotten really in depth, giving you a lot of custom options. So I do enjoy that a lot. But so I got to give MLB a lot of credit as ones that I enjoy playing. NHL or EA specifically, they've made some good steps. They were in the right direction with their last game. So I'm hoping they do a little bit better again this year. But only time will tell. But I'm the type of person who loves to play those GM modes and go out and do my ridiculous trades that'll never happen in the real world.
I love it, man. I'm on the same page with you, buddy. I love taking like the worst team in the league and like doing the draft and making trades and finding a way to do all that. So that's awesome. Let's get into a little bit more news. I mean, there wasn't nothing earth shattering in the Bolts, but we do have, as reported by the Bolt Report, new numbers finally in for the newest Bolts. Let's start with Corey Perry. Corey Perry wearing number 10 instead of his 94 that he wore with Montreal. He did wear number 10 for the Ducks and for the Stars. Jake, who did you guys have as the last Bolt to wear number 10?
So the last Bolt to wear number 10 was JT Miller in 2019. So pretty big name to have last wear number 10. Miller was a really good player for us and was kind of a cap casualty as we moved on for him, mostly because of cap reasons, and he was at high trade value at the time. So, I like the number 10 for Corey Perry. So I think that'll be a good look on him. New number, new team. So It could be his way of getting a little bit of a fresh start, maybe. Cool number choice by Corey Perry, but 18 million was the last one to wear it.
Chris, do you think there's I don't know if it's not superstition or your lucky number or something like that. A lot of these guys that we're going to go through, they're kind of either returning to numbers that they had previously worn. Maybe there's a little bit of what Jake was saying, a little change of scenery, but also change that number to maybe give you a fresh start.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a player, I'm sure I'd want a certain number. I would feel like I would believe in those kind of superstitions if I was a player where it's like you've been wearing that number, you've worn your whole career, so you're just used to it, and it probably does become somewhat of a superstition to those guys. So yeah. I mean, I would definitely think there's some sort of. I mean, obviously it's not a huge effect on them, but I mean, I would think maybe a little bit to a degree. They definitely like to rock the number of their choice.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know why Montreal couldn't have unretired number 10. I mean, it's only Guy Lafleur that wore it. He's a nobody. So no, but yeah, Perry going back to his number 10. Another guy that's going back to a number he previously worn, and that's Brian Elliott. The last time a Bolt wore number 1 was Sean Burke, so another goaltender there. And Brian Elliott wearing number 1, he wore that with the Flames. He wore that with the Blues when he had some crazy good seasons. Jake, what do you think about him maybe returning to his old form with number 1?
Yeah, I like that idea. Him going back to his old form, wearing the old number 1. I don't remember Sean Brook whatsoever with the Lightning, so I think it'd be cool to see someone wearing the number 1. It's a pretty popular number in a lot of sports. I know there's a lot of quarterbacks that like to wear number 1 because football's weird with their specific number. Most goalies actually, I believe, wear somewhere in the 30s.
Yeah,
you got a couple goalies like Bassey who wear 88, but I like the number 1. So that's it's a cool idea for Elliott, and hopefully, he does well in a Tampa uniform. He's one guy I'm really looking forward to see how he performs with the Bolts, especially in that backup role.
Chris, Jake had said number 1. I like number 1 as a goaltender number. I think it's like, I don't know if there's a statement. It's still weird to see Vasi wear 88, even though like he's pretty much staked out that number as his own, and the Bolts are probably going to retire it one day. But him having 88 just seems like he should be flying around like Lindros or something like that. But number 1, what do you think about single digits for the sweaters for the goalies?
I guess jerseys don't really bother me too much.
Okay.
I guess I've never really paid attention to, or really been big into what numbers someone wears, as long as it, like I said, if it's their choice and they're superstitious about it, I guess I could understand that. But as far as jersey numbers go, I guess it's never something that's really bothered me much. So I guess I just could care less about what number the players wear, as long as they're performing on the ice and we're hosting the cup at the end of the year.
Well, it's kind of weird. It's like coming from baseball. Usually the guys with the really high, weird numbers, like 74 or 62 or something like that, those are kind of the minor league guys that are barely on the team, and maybe in spring training they're trying to make the roster, so they don't have a kind of a more established number. And then in football, Jake had brought up, there's kind of rules. They're relaxing those rules now, but if you're a fullback, you can only wear from this number to this number, and so on and so forth. Another guy that's got maybe a weird number. Jake, might you be able to talk about this? Pierre-Edouard Bellemare going with 41. He wore 41 in Colorado. He wore 41 in Vegas, and now he's bringing that onto the Bolts. The last time we haven't seen a guy wear 41 in almost 10 years. Mike Smith, I guess, was the last guy to wear it.
Yep, that's correct. Mike Smith was the last one to wear it. I like number 41 because I really liked Mike Smith when he was with us. It makes sense for Bellemare to take it, especially with him having worn 41 in his time with Vegas and Colorado. So, it'll be cool for him to be able to keep his number. But, I think Mike Smith, he did all right with us. He was a big goaltender for us at the time, because that was still, with the Lightning and their goaltender situation, we could do a whole episode on that. Since Hobby Bullen, after he had left Tampa, they never really got that good number one goaltender. Mike Smith kind of got close a little bit, but never was really able to get to where I think a lot of Lightning fans would have hoped he could have been. So interesting to see that number go from a goalie to a forward now. So hopefully he does well, though, with the team. It'll be interesting to see where he slots in with these guys, too, because he seems like he might be more of a bottom six guy.
Well, Chris, another guy that I know you're excited to have back is Zach Bogosian. He's returning. He's the last player to wear number 24, and he's returning. He's picking up his sweater. They probably just washed it, and he's ready to go. How do we feel about Bogosian getting his number back? And maybe I'm thinking here, Chris, who do you think's the best to wear 24 for the Bolts? Maybe Ryan Callahan?
Yeah. It's got to be Ryan Callahan, but unfortunately, I feel like Ryan Callahan's career didn't end how he wanted it to. He was battling all those injuries. I don't think he had the career here he wanted to. Obviously, when we made that trade for him, we lost St. Louis, which to me was a big deal. I really wanted St. Louis to stay a Bolt, but that's the way things go sometimes. But I think Ryan Callahan, as far as a leader, was there. It's just I don't think his skill ever got to or stayed how it should have been when he came to us because of all the injuries he was battling. He was up and down and hurt. So I felt really bad for Callahan because I know he's that leadership guy that he hustles really hard and he gives it his all when he's out there. So definitely have to be Callahan to represent 24 for the Bolts.
Hell yeah. So, for all you out there, if you're looking for a new sweater to pick up, to add to the collection, there you go. You got 4 brand new guys with brand new numbers. I didn't see anyone that's on the team changing their number. I know because there's a couple guys out there with some weird numbers that as they got called up from the taxi squad and whatnot, they might have just got slapped in there. But we've never seen a guy wear 45 or 66 or, either 87. Gronkowski wore 87 when he put on the pads for a little training session. But no one's ever won 87. No one's ever won 99, 96, or 94. There's a couple other in the 80s, but all those are kind of weird numbers, other than maybe out of respect for Mario Lemieux and the great one. Maybe that's why they're not wearing a 66 and 99. But there's a few numbers in there that are available that I think, or 0. No one's ever won a 0, wore a 0 for the Lightning. I'm sure.
Retired league-wide.
I gotta look that up. I don't know if you can wear 0 or 00 in the NHL now, but the little silly numbers rules. I don't know yet. But the last thing I'll get into is we've had a weird summer of the Bolts running around, and one of the traditions with as the keeper of the Stanley Cup is you travel this thing around, and I can only imagine the stories that guy has to tell. What we will get into is some of the weird foods that people have put in the Stanley Cup to eat out of. Boys, I'm gonna run off the list here, and maybe you give me your favorite out of these 5 that we've seen. The first, of course, we got to talk about the shrimp poutine of Cedric Paquette. My guy just filled up the whole damn cup with shrimp poutine, and he's wearing his Stanley Cup ring from last year, and he's just digging in. We also had a different poutine. We had Matthew Joseph. He went with a little more gravy based. The whole damn cup is just filled with gravy. It's a heart attack in a Stanley Cup. Just fun times. But then we also saw some maple taffy. Yanni Gourde putting maple taffy in the Stanley Cup. I don't know if that's ever been done before. And the last thing, maybe the weirdest of all, only because it wasn't really a dish. It was just 7 or 8 different live lobsters in the top of the Stanley Cup for a cookout. Chris, what do you think is the best? If you had to pick one of those, what's the best of the best out of those 5 that we've seen food related things in the cup this summer?
Man, having the sweet tooth I'd have to go with the taffy, man. It actually sounds pretty good. I'm a sweet tooth kind of guy myself, so if I had the cup, man, and I have my choice, I'm going with some kind of big ice cream sundae. All the toppings you can get, hard shell chocolate toppings, going with some cherries, maybe a little bit of Cool Whip, not whipped cream, Cool Whip. Maybe some sprinkles, some fresh strawberries in there. I'd probably go with maybe a Neapolitan blend as far as ice cream choice. Fill it up to the top, man. Let it overflow, melt down, and I think I have to go with the sundae in my own Stanley Cup bowl.
Can they make a waffle cone big enough to put inside of the cup for you, buddy?
I don't know, man. That'd be pretty cool, though.
Well, I have to get this out of Jake, man. So, what out of those 5 that we talked about, what did you like the best, and what are they doing wrong, man? What would you have done that's better?
I gotta agree with Chris. I think Yanni Gourde's taffy would probably be my favorite. Although I will say though, Joseph and Paquette have gotten me wanting to try poutine. It's something I've never had, and
Okay.
I don't know. It looked kind of good. I don't know. I know it's a big Canadian thing, so I don't know how well that translates to my good old American palate. So, but as for what I would put in the cup, oh man, I don't know. That's probably one of the tough things that you got to think about when you win the Stanley Cup. What are you going to put in that thing? Chris has got a couple good ideas with like sundaes. That's a good one. But I don't know. Chris was mentioning before we started recording too. Put some like queso in there. That'd be a fun one to put there. Everybody can come get some chips and dip some queso in there. But anything, I wouldn't do the whole lobster situation. That was kind of weird. I feel like you got to do something. You'd have a bowl, right? Because that's kind of the whole idea there. Although I tell you what, I would definitely be drinking some kind of soda or chocolate milk out of the Stanley Cup for sure.
I like it. I would be doing from back home. There's a regional dish called green chili in Colorado, kind of in the southwest in Colorado. It would definitely be Colorado green chili. Is what Google it. It's the bomb. It's amazing. No one makes it out here, and it's really really good. So when I start a restaurant, that's what we'll serve is Colorado green chili. But maybe cereal. Maybe some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That'd be good too. I've seen players feed their dogs out of the Stanley Cup, so I don't know how much sanitation would have to happen the day they gave it to me. I want to say who had this? Who had the cup the day before, and what did they do with it, and how did we clean it, buddy? So, well, I'm sure that's why the guy earns the paycheck to just run around with the cup all the time. So. It's been dented, it's been dinged, and there has been poutine inside of the cup. Oh man, that's how do I move on from that? There's nothing else to talk about, so I guess let's do this. The best thing I can talk about is you, the listener. Please, we talked about Best of the Bay right off the top. There is a link in the description of this podcast. You click that as you vote for Best of the Bay for Creative Loafing. We humbly ask you that you vote us for Best Podcast. RBLR Sports is right there, as well as one of our own sports writers, Leo Santos, is nominated for Best Sports Writer. Also, please vote for our boy Leo. He does a phenomenal job covering the Rowdies for us here, and he also has covered USF Bulls sports for the last few years. He's amazing and awesome. You should vote for him and vote for us. But while you're listening to us, hit that little like button, hit that little subscribe button, and that way you get all of the content from our nominated best podcast of the year right into your inbox as soon as it gets uploaded. Also, if you're on social media, follow us. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Just at RBLR Sports, it takes you right to us, and there you go. Well, Chris, I'll give you your final thoughts. This is your platform, buddy. What are you looking forward to as we continue the off season here?
Well, as of right now, I think I'm going to, roll with watching some Rays. We're still holding down that first place. Yankees are playing tough right now, so the Rays need to keep winning. Obviously, we're rolling into football season too, so going to get ready to watch the Bucks on opening night against Cowboys. That'll be a good one to tune into. Other than that, man, just hanging out, working a lot, and just waiting for hockey to start back up. I'm kind of glad the way the seasons have worked out. There's not that much in between time as there normally would be. So, I mean, what did we say? We got 6 weeks left. So, I mean, I think the way this year's going fast. Before we know it, the season will be starting, and hopefully we'll be going for that three-peat.
Jake, sir, the floor is yours. You have the final word. Give us your final thoughts and a big old go Bolts on the way out, buddy.
Yeah, man, just like Chris said, I'm looking forward. We're getting closer and closer with every week to hockey season. I cannot wait to be ready to raise the banner this season. We got a lot of fun things coming up this season too. We got the outdoor game. And obviously we're gonna be back in the playoffs defending our title. So a lot of fun things to look forward to. Super excited about it as we get closer and closer here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Go Bolts, baby.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.